Welcome back, YouTube family. So I'm here this morning on my day off. I didn't do anything last night. Last night I was just exhausted, so I didn't even come to the garage. Anyways, there's a couple of things that I want to show you if you did not see the video or if this part is in the video. So this is what I did. I'm gonna insert the pictures of what I did to the column. How it looked before. You've probably seen it in between the other videos and all that, because it was tricolor. The steering wheel was red, part of the column was green, the other part was tan or light brown. So I decided, since I already put the new dashboard on there, might as well just paint the column itself. I'm going to show you and a couple things that I'm going to be doing today. Here's my old dashboard. This is the one that used to be on there, and as you can see, completely off. There's this speaker blocker right here that's metal, 2 screws. There's this black accent piece right here. There's a bunch of screws that I'm going to be removing and I'm going to be keeping. There is this locking mechanism for the glove box, and then also there's a clock here that I'm going to be removing, and I am also going to take it off and see if by any chance I can go ahead and install this back over there. Also, I'm going to take off the brake release that it has there and a couple more screws that it has. That's one of the things that I'm going to be doing today. Another thing is that I'm going to be covering this whole dashboard all the way from the bottom back. Where's my hand at? From the bottom back all the way over there, and making sure that that's nice and covered, as well as this orange carpet got to go. It has 2 big old holes there, 3 with that one over there. I don't know why they're there, but they were very visible with the bucket seats that it had there. And then I'm also going to remove this insulation, and I'm just going to put it away until I find a brand new one that goes on the backrest of the car. So if I find a brand new one, then I'm going to go ahead and replace it. Other than that, I'm going to start vacuuming everything. I'm going to cut the carpet in half or in pieces and just throw it away. I don't need it. Nobody else needs a janky old carpet either. Then what I'm going to be doing is I am going to put some DYNAMAT all up in here, and I got to replace the one that I removed, the original one that was up in the on the rooftop on the inside of the car. Since I already worked on the quarter window panel hole, gaping hole that it had there, that's all squared away. Everything else in here as well. Then I'm gonna go ahead and DYNAMAT this first before I DYNAMAT the floor. Also, I am going to start installing the power cable for the amp as well. So I'm just gonna run the cable, and I'm going to run the RCA jacks also. And I'm going to run the RCA jacks to this side all the way to the back. I already did the speaker wires, and as you can see, I tidied it up a little bit because I put some zip ties to it and I don't want this going anywhere. Then later on, I'm going to go ahead and tape this or add some of these other zip tie holders so that it can just stay in place and it doesn't rattle or make any type of noise, which I am confident it won't do it, but in any case, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So those are the main things that I'm going to be doing today. I think that I might even install the glove box back again, and then I am going to put I think I might just go ahead and put the gauge cluster dashboard cover that it has. I don't know what that's called yet. I'm still trying to learn on all these things about the car and about cars in general. I mean, I know the few basic things, but not everything. So it's been a struggle. It's been a lot of work. It's already been 6 months, 7 months since I bought the car, and that I've been working on it as much as I can. Also, let me show you this. All the trim pieces that the car had. This was the green one. That's the front one. Here is the red one. Here is the other red one. And here is the other red one. And I already did the kick panels for the front kick panels. That's already done and painted. The A-pillar plastics, I had to order some new ones because the ones that I originally had were very sun damaged and cracked, and I didn't want to put some fiberglass and sand it and lose a bit of the whatever texture there was. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I'll be primering that as well as soon as I'm done with the other stuff, or I might just primer that first so that it can be nice and dry by the time that I'm able to paint it. Then I'll be able to install them. Of course, that's going to be one of the very last things that I'll be installing on the car, because I have the headliner that I'm going to take to the upholstery guy, and he's going to do the upholstery for me. As soon as I come up with the design that I did for the seats, then I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then when I get back the seats and I'm done with the paint, then I'll show you how the interior looks. I am going to do that, so let's go and do this. Well, I guess I didn't show you though before we continues. This is how the steering column looks like now. I don't know if you can see that. I don't have that much good lighting, but it's better than what it looked like. And again, I'm not a professional painter by any means. I just, for some reason, I was able to do it, and that's it. The gauge clusters, you guys remember how ugly and gross they look? The AC, the cigarette lighter, the windshield wiper control, the brake release, the headlight pulley, and anyways, here's the dash. Okay, so you see this gaping hole right here? There's another trim piece that goes here. Apparently I broke one side, and the other side I wasn't able to save either because it was so disintegrated. So I ordered a set from bcgbody.com. I'm not sponsored by them, but I found out that that's Candy and Chrome, and I've been following her on her Instagram and in the Lowrider videos, and I'm subscribed to her channel basically. And I went back all the way to her very first videos of how she started, so I was able to see that that was her company. I actually ordered it through eBay, but when I saw the sticker, I said, why is it that I've seen that sticker before? And so, long story short, it's Candy and Chrome. So again, this is my 1979 Pontiac Grand Prix. Supposedly it's not a G body, but other people say it is, that it's an A body, whatever. I got this car and now I'm working on it, and so this is what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on the stand so we can go ahead and continue working on the car. Also, I'm going to be vacuuming the floor. I know I'm throwing it away, but I'm vacuuming it because when I did the column, when I painted the column there, I used the metal flake in rattle can, and it's all over, and I'd rather have less or none because I had to also re-blow out the dashboard and then wipe it down and then cover it up again so that none of this flake comes back up again. So yep, that's the work that's waiting for me today. Also, does anybody know where I can get this re-chromed by any chance? I would like to get this, or if there's a custom place where I can get the grill, instead of the lines going up and down, I want to get them going across. If not, I'd rather have them up and down, if anything, or I just might get this manufactured with a friend of mine and see what we can do with it. Let's go do this. I took off the carpet, and upon doing so, once I took off the carpet, I was trying to take off the rest of whatever jute it had and any sticky residue and some Dynamat that was from the manufacturer when they built the car. But there's a couple of things that made me go, oh man. So let me show you, because after I thought that it was super clean, because if you saw episode 1 and 2, you probably saw the pictures that when I grinded and cleaned off the pans, the floor pans underneath, and then I put Eastwood rust encapsulator, it didn't show any signs of pits and holes. But after I took off the carpet, that's another story. Maybe because I was underneath the car, I wasn't able to see it. I had no light inside the car because of the carpet being above it. But let me go ahead and show you guys. Here's one, but it's solid, super solid right here. Here's another pit hole right here, but again, I had to grab the hammer, and I don't want to, but I think that one of the things that I might do is just go ahead and do what I did to my buddy's car on his Impala. We grabbed a wire wheel brush, and whatever it had, any type of surface rust, we took it off with the wire wheel, and also we put some Dynamat in his car. My brother and I did that together, and up to today he still talks about it once in a while. And it's kind of funny that he mentions it. Here I am with a brand new car that I bought, and now I have to do the same thing. So we're gonna go ahead and, I have a welder, and I don't want to weld anything because I never welded before. So what I am going to do is I am going to go ahead and brush it out. First, I'm going to take out the Dynamat that's from the factory. Anything that from the factory, just brush it off and clean it up. And if I find any more on that side, like for example, I had to take that off right there, that Dynamat right there. If that is Dynamat right there, I'm going to take that off. If that's it also, I'm going to remove that as well. And then clean it up in here with the wire brush, wire wheel. But before I do any of that, look it, I said I was going to cover the dashboard. The good thing is that I can blow all this out and then wipe it down, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover it for sure before I continue, because now it's going to get dusty and I don't want to go through it over and over again. Let's get to it. I just finished putting some Dynamat on a couple of places. One that I really needed it on was the rooftop of the car. That'll help with the immense heat and part of the cold, and at least that's gonna help. And it's a big difference when you even snap your fingers in here. It's not reverberating in here. Two, I added a couple of pieces here, and it sounds way better than what it did. And I did the same thing on the opposite side, which is the driver's side passenger. Next, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to go ahead and clean all of this up right here with the wire brush, and then I'm going to cover up those holes over there that we discovered. And I also discovered some holes, and this is pretty much done. I am confident that I can go ahead and fix this anyways. We are going to go ahead and continue that, and it's just a result of, if you guys remember, of this hole right here that the water was coming down. There was a couple of spots up here, and everything was just coming down in here. But ever since I scraped the bottom and sanded it and also covered it with Eastwood rust encapsulator, we won't have that issue any longer. We're gonna go ahead and finish this now, and hopefully we get this done and dynamated by tonight. It's taking all day to do this, and especially because I had to cover this with some shrink wrap and try to tape it up as best as I can so that there's no dust going in there. I mean, if there's a hint of dust, then that's because it's getting in through somewhere. But there's a hole right here, so I'm gonna have to put some tape here. So hopefully, if I cover that, no dust will get in there. But other than that, the dashboard is covered. I have the plastic bezel that goes right underneath the speedometer or the cluster gauge, and then I am going to see if I can go ahead and clean up the one that goes here so I can go ahead and put it back on there. Let's continue. So I showed you guys that there was a little problem. I did not see this when I was underneath the car and coating it with the rust encapsulator. And so as soon as I took off the carpet and I started cleaning it with the wire brush, that's when I saw that there was rust holes in the pan. Because underneath it seemed all great and dandy, and I didn't think anything of it. So I thought everything was fine. But it could have been worse. It could have been a gaping hole and I wouldn't even known, but you couldn't tell from underneath. So this is what I did. I came up with a solution. Here's what I did. What I done is I put some fiberglass Bondo on here, and that made it really, really strong too. It actually stiffened the metal here. And because it's not going to be a show car and it's going to be under the carpet, nobody's going to see this, then I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to go ahead and throw the DYNAMAT over that. I am going to put DYNAMAT on that side, and then and I'm doing it because of the heat protection and also of the rattleness and trying to keep the engine noise down or road noise as much as possible away. So if I need to buy another box of DYNAMAT in the future, then I could always go ahead and do that. But for right now, since the new carpet is going in, the new seats are gonna come in and the panels, might as well do it this way. So let's go ahead and continue on it. So as you saw, I got the DYNAMAT in here and it made a whole difference. And for sure, I'm pretty sure that in here, that's gonna cut a lot of road noise out, especially since the original carpet that I bought has jute and also sound deadener in it. So that's gonna even make it quieter yet. So I'm really excited for that. Although you're not gonna be able to see that in this episode that I'll be installing the carpet, only because I still have to work on the body on the car. But what I am going to do in here is that I'm going to cover this with plastic right here also as well, so that I don't get it dirty. And I'm going to cover that in the backrest area. I'm going to tape out the windows as well, and the roof lining, well, the whatever you can want to call this in here, I'm going to do that as well. That way I can go ahead and continue on working on the car. However, this side I'm not gonna be able to do anything to it as of yet, but we need to get working on the hood and the trunk. And then I got a bunch of stuff I need to clean in here before I do anything else though. But one of the things I do have to do also on my list is finish painting the trims for the pieces up here. I thought I ran out of paint, but apparently I do have some paint left over, and we are going to do that. We are going to finish painting that tonight. I am going to paint that because I need to speed it up and move along. I need to run my wire, my positive wire that goes to the battery, and run it in here since I have it open now, and I'm able to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and work on that. That's pretty much it. I already ran the speaker wires, and hopefully when I get most of this done and I'm ready for paint, I can try to work on getting the power and remote for the stereo. I don't know where those connections are up in here, but I'm still gonna go and run the wires. So hopefully I'm able to do that. So let's do this. If you remember, I needed to clean everything here, except that all this mess that I had went to different areas here. Now, I had to try to find a way to run the power cable because I actually got this earthquake fuse, inline fuse holder, which I'm going to insert. Also, last night, I ended up doing a hole through the firewall. All right, so I finally drilled a hole through the firewall. Only problem is I also drilled through my fender. Did I drill all the way over there? Well, it was mistakenly. I by mistake, when I pressed the drill, it actually went all the way through. I was trying to do it slowly, but for some reason, that's the mistake I made. Now I'll be able to run the wires. I also grabbed some cloth tape, which is gonna help me put some on there. The friction and the rubbing against the metal doesn't happen. As well as I went to Home Depot and I got myself some grommets here, some rubber grommets that I can install in between the sheet metal. But I also have some DYNAMAT that I'm going to be putting in front and behind. That way I don't have any type of moisture coming in there, or even the cable getting frayed and rubbed on and peeling it and causing a fire. One of the things I am going to do is I'm going to mix up some Bondo and I'm going to insert in that hole to where the fender is and cover it up, so that way I don't have that hole and there's no water coming in there when I wash it or in any type of way. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's get to it.